This is the Boker Kalashnikov OTF in OD green. Comes in a nice little pouch right here. Black stonewash or smoke wash finish. D2 steel. It's made by Crkt. Supposedly it's made in China and assembled in the US. So Chinese made with US quality control. And it's a lot more high quality feeling than I expected, honestly. I've had a Boker way back in the day, the side folder automatic, just the regular one, the regular size. It was all blacked out. Dagger blade, black coating on it, black handle. This is back in like 2012 when I was like 15. And I fucked up the spring on the knife, broke the spring, and just like took it apart, turned it into like a manual folder, and just beat the shit out of the knife, abused it. Took a razor blade for some reason and like scraped off the black coating. I don't know why. But yeah, I ended up losing that. Here's a little size comparison. Spyderco Police 4, lightweight. Cold steel, Tiger Claw. And coincidentally, these are all like the same price. Bought this for like 115. This was 120, 119. Then I bought this one for 120. These two have similar steels, I guess. CTS, XHP, and D2. They're not the same, but they're both not cheap steels. Better than VG10, I guess you could say, yeah. VG10 isn't a bad steel either, but definitely outdated now. Yeah. Another size comparison. Cold steel, Voyager XL, and Crkt M21 14SF. I love this knife. And this knife too. I mean, I've had this knife longer. This knife is almost like 5 years old. And these are both made out of the same handle material. This is a T6 aluminum as well. Anodized. I'm pretty sure this one is anodized too. But this is like a smooth... It's like a smooth, type of texture on it. It doesn't have any sort of... coating or like this. I don't know what you would call it. Stippling, yeah. Some shit like that. But this knife was like $80, something like that. 70 back in the day, yeah. It doesn't have an expensive steel, it's like AUS 8. I would say most of the money you're paying for with this knife is the handle material and the coating on the blade. It's titanium nitride coating, which is held up really well. You can see all the scratches on the blade, and I haven't babied this shit. I haven't really abused it either, but it ain't no safe queen. It's been used and carried for almost, not the time I've had it, I think like 2 years maybe I carried it. Yeah. Nice blade. And the cold steel. I love that knife too. You could chop down a tree with that fucking knife. But the Kalashnikov OTF. Very nice. Green. The OD green. It looked a lot different in person than I expected. It's a lot more like vibrant, lighter. And on the camera it looks different too than how I'm looking at it right now, but I love that green. I usually don't like lighter greens, but this screen, I don't know. I'm starting to like it more. And like the switch, it was a little bit, stiff. I had to break it in when I got it. Obviously, all knives are like that when you get it, but I just sprayed a little bit of a white lithium grease right here, and then when it was closed, sprayed it right there too. And then on the blade, put a little bit on there, wiped it down, and then now it doesn't stick at all. It doesn't get hung up or anything. And it wasn't when I first got it. It was fine, but when I held it upside down for some reason, when I was doing it like that, trying to pull it back, it wasn't wanting to do it. It wasn't wanting to work right. But now it works just fine. Any angle I could hold it upside down, sideways, upright. It works fine. And the blade, I really wish they would have put a dagger blade, double-edged blade on here, but a Bowie, clip point style is better for, like an EDC knife, I guess, everyday carry, because, it has some good belly on it. Not that a dagger blade wouldn't have belly on it, but the fact you can do that, you can do some better work with that, more control over it. But I would see this knife being better for, self-defense, tactical type knife more than, EDC. Because of the way the handle is shaped, the finger choils, whatever you want to call it, the way the knife would kind of melt into your hand when you get a grip on that. If you have to stab someone, in self-defense or something like that, or you had to stab a box or some shit. That's a reason I really don't like OTF knives for self-defense, tactical type roles, is the size of the knives themselves. I don't know fucking why, but OTF knives are always like 8 inches, 7 inches overall. They're always like small little knives. So if you had a 5.5 inch, 5-inch blade on an OTF that was double edged, that had, a handle like this, that, your hand wouldn't slip onto the blade if you had to stab something. Like all OTFs, they seem to have, like a squared off, boxy, like streamlined handle. And I get that's easy if, for carrying around, it's going to be comfortable like that. But if you actually had to use the knife, I feel like a Microtech, Ultratech or something like that, I wouldn't feel comfortable using that to stab somebody or, defend myself, because I would feel like your hand would just slip onto the blade, even though they have little ridges, little jimping kind of on the handle. Like, no, that's not good enough for me. Something like this, that's what you want for a self-defense blade. Something that has not even a dual hilt, but just a hilt. Something that sticks out like that. But this knife specifically, no matter which way you're holding the blade, your hand isn't going to slip on. It's not going to slip onto the knife because of that dual hilt. That's what I love. Even though that the handle scale is aluminum and your hand's going to get a little slippery on there, you don't got to worry about it because you have that. If you have a grip on the knife. If you don't know how to hold the fucking knife, then yeah, it's going to slip out of your hand. But I mean, that's a different story with this because it doesn't have a hilt, but it's almost like the finger choils, the grooves that's the hilt, that's what you got to hold on to, and the texturing on here. But yeah, I would feel comfortable using this knife to defend myself with. And I would carry it around. I would use it for an EDC knife. A lot of people that review knives like this, they're like, "Oh, I can't carry this knife. It would be nice to, but yeah, it's illegal in my state." No, fuck that. I live in America. I can carry this around. I can carry around a fucking katana if I wanted to. I live in Arizona. So yeah. I really love this knife. Honestly, I think I'm gonna buy another one. Yeah. It was the homie's birthday recently, and I think I'm gonna get him one. He's not really a knife guy. He's not into blade steels and different knife companies and all this shit. So if I get him this, he's just gonna jizz over it. Yeah. The Boker Kalashnikov OTF. That's my review. Later.